In tonight's headlines, Ministry of Health talks Pinkeye outbreak. U.S. Embassy updates visa application process, and Belize Now takes a look at the growing spa and wellness sector. Thanks for joining us on this Friday, October 6, 2017. I'm Charlie Hutchinson. Even though many Belizeans have been actively avoiding the recent Pinkeye outbreak, the latest statistics from the Ministry of Health shows that almost 6,000 Belizeans have been affected by the infection. Our Belize Now team was itching to learn more about it.
Conjunctivitis, or Pinkeye as it's better known, has had Belizeans taking extra precautions in the last few weeks as the country has experienced an outbreak of the disease. While we see flare-ups of Pinkeye each year, this time around incidences seem unusually high. Dr. Ethan Goff, National Epidemiologist at the Ministry of Health, explained what we're witnessing in this year's outbreak.
Pinkeye is an infection of the eye. It can be caused by bacteria or viruses. We think that what we're dealing with right now is a viral infection. How it differs from the bacterial infection, it doesn't really differ in terms of what the person who's infected actually experiences. It doesn't differ in terms of signs and symptoms. The difference mainly is in how fast it spreads. So the viral infections tend to spread more easily and more quickly than bacterial infections.
If you've never been affected by this infection before, signs and symptoms to look for include redness, itchiness, watery eyes, or a yellow discharge from the eyes. If diagnosed, the ministry encourages you to take these measures.
If you have any of these signs and symptoms, we encourage you to go see a physician so you could get formally diagnosed, and so the physician can advise you on how to treat or manage the infection. In terms of prevention, we ask people who have been diagnosed with Pinkeye or showing these signs and symptoms to wash their hands regularly, especially after coming into contact with the infected eyes. We also ask that people stay at home. This goes for both school children enrolled in school as well as working adults. We ask that they not attend school or go to work, stay away from public places, because if they do attend school or work, they're just exposing other people and they're facilitating transmission.
While the thought of work piling up on your desk or missing class might tempt you to go to work or school, despite your diagnosis, your presence can do a lot of damage since a single person can affect up to 4 people. But what about in the home where there is an infected person?
If you're in a home where somebody is sick, you want to avoid a situation where if your hands might be contaminated, you touch your eye and you infect yourself. So if someone is in the home and is sick, but you're not sick yet, you still need to wash your hands. It's not just the ill person that needs to focus on hand washing. You need to focus on hand washing to protect yourself as well. So they need to be conscious of washing hands regularly, in particular before making contact with the eyes, even if they're not sick. That's to avoid infecting themselves. And the person in the home who is infected should do the same to avoid contaminating the household, contaminating household surfaces, inanimate objects, etc.
While hand washing remains at the top of the list, there are other preventative measures you can take.
We also ask in the home that people be careful about sharing bed sheets, linens, towels, things like that can become contaminated by the infected person in the home. And when other people in the home that are not yet infected, when they utilize the contaminated towels or bed sheets or share the pillows, etc., they can then become infected.
According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the infection usually clears up between 7 to 14 days. In some instances, it may take up to 3 weeks. It is also important to note that antibiotics are ineffective in treating viral conjunctivitis, and individuals can be reinfected. And while we might hear it often, hand washing saves lives, and in this case, protects your eyes. For Belize Now, I am Janelle Mencius.
The Ministry of Health notes that cases of Pinkeye are still believed to be highly underreported. The Belize Solid Waste Management Authority, the Department of the Environment, and the Belize Audubon Society are collaborating once again to host their annual Walk for a Green Belize on Saturday, October 14th, 2017. The organizers are gearing up for the event and are seeking support from the public to make it a success.
Walk for a Green Belize came about because we saw the need of picking up garbage on the highway for the purpose that littering and illegal dumping contributes to pollution, and one of the mandates from the Department of the Environment is to control pollution. The Department of the Environment collaborates with the Belize Solid Waste Management Authority and the Belize Audubon Society since 2014 to start this campaign that we're doing, and this year we're having it as well, and this is the 4th year, and it's going to be held on October 14, 2017 this year.
Last year's competition was excellent. Once again, the BDF youth cadets were the ones who collected the most waste in terms of the amount of the number of persons that they brought about, and of course the number of bags. So this year we're doing once again a competition whereby once the organization bring a great amount of persons and of course the amount of bags that they collect, then they win a plaque and a prize of $200. We want to make sure that people collectively know the importance of proper waste management, because that's the most important thing to highlight about littering. We have to have something that needs to be in place to combat that. So people just need to be aware that when it comes to waste management, disposal practices is very important for motorists and also for pedestrians. So having the Walk for a Green Belize this year continues to symbolize the effort that the Department of the Environment, Belize Audubon Society, and of course the Belize Solid Waste Management continues to emphasize the importance of having the community be aware of the importance of proper disposal.
So what length of the highway will the cleanup take place?
It's going to be taking place from Belize to all the way to Pinkeye, which is about from mile 1 to mile 77, give or take. We have different organizations that each mile or a number of miles are assigned to. They have a period of maybe 3 hours to collect the waste, to bag the waste, and then eventually we have our trucks that we're going to collect all of the bags, and then following we're going to weigh them, and then we're going to give that information to the public in terms of the amount that we have collected for that day.
In celebration of International Day of Older Persons, the National Council on Aging hosted its first National Conference on Aging and the Rights of Older Persons on Thursday, October 5th, 2017. The conference brought together professionals from different sectors to discuss the rights of older persons, economic security, age-friendly healthcare, and social support, highlighting the crucial role of an aging population in Belize's development. The day featured a presentation on the Inter-American Convention on the Human Rights of Older Persons, presented by Sharon Segura, international consultant with PAHO WHO, and 2 thematic panels on economic security and age-friendly healthcare and social provision. The International Day of Older Persons is celebrated annually on October 1st to acknowledge, honor, and recommit support to older persons around the world and in our country. This year's theme, Stepping into the Future, Tapping the Talents, Contributions, and Participation of Older Persons in Society, is about enabling and expanding the contributions of older people in their families, communities, and societies at large. It focuses on the pathways that support full and effective participation in old age in accordance with old persons' basic rights, needs, and preferences. The United States Embassy has experienced several changes over the years. This includes several developments in the visa application process for Belizeans. Janelle Rodriguez tells us more.
Plenty Belizeans visit the U.S. annually, whether it be for business, diplomacy, or vacation and leisure. The primary requirement to do so is to be in possession of a U.S. visa. For those who are considering applying for one, Yomaris McDonald, Consular Chief, United States Embassy, told us about some of the latest measures implemented to make the visa application process much easier. The first of which is the Visa Waiver Program, through which minors and elderly citizens can bypass the usual in-person interview with a consular officer.
Our interview waiver program waives the interviews for minor children 13 years and younger, and elderly citizens 79 years and above. And that's because we don't take their fingerprints. So if you are 13 years and younger and applying for a visa, or 79 years and above, you do not need an interview. So what that means is after you fill out your application and you pay, your confirmation will say, instead of your appointment is on Wednesday at 9 a.m., it'll say drop off your passport and confirmation sheet at this time, and there will be no interview. If the officer has any questions or follow-up, we'll just pick up the phone and call or email you if we have any questions or follow-up questions.
To make the process more convenient, successful applicants can now have a designated person pick up visas on their behalf.
We also want to stress that you don't have to pick up the visa in person, that you can give authorization for a third party or friend or neighbor, somebody who happens to be in Belmopan, to pick up the visa on your behalf, but they need written authorization and a photo ID, because we want to make sure we're giving your visa and your passport to somebody who's authorized to pick it up.
If applicants experience any difficulty throughout the visa application process, there is immediate assistance available to them via 24-hour call centers.
Your first point of contact for us would be our call center, and they're an 800 number, and they also have a Skype number that you can call. And the reason why we ask people to call them is because they're more available than we are. They're open later than we are, and they have more resources to answer the phone.
Ms. McDonald also told us what is the most common mistake made on visa applications.
One of the most common ones, and I think one of the easiest ones to fix, are incorrect photos being uploaded in their application. So we see a lot of selfies and photos that don't meet our requirements, because when you fill out the application, you can upload a photo yourself, and they end up uploading pictures that are not appropriate for our process. So that's one message that we're trying to amplify.
Why was my visa application rejected? This is a question often asked by unsuccessful applicants. Ms. McDonald explained the main reason for denials of U.S. visas.
One of the most common reasons why someone might be refused is because they haven't articulated in their application or to the officer their ties to Belize. So there are many things we look for in an application. We have many different visa categories, many different purposes of travel: students, teachers, people who are going for business, grandparents just going to visit their grandchildren. So in addition to purpose of travel and funds and who's going to pay for your trip, we want to know, are you going to come back? And what that means is, do you have sufficient ties to Belize? And that could mean many different things for a 18-year-old studying in university and a 45-year-old stay-at-home mom. So it's basically, we're looking for ties to your country.
So, while applying for your U.S. visa, ensure that you demonstrate sufficient ties to Belize. As the cliche goes, there is no place like home. For Belize Now, I am Janelle Rodriguez.
For any questions regarding U.S. visa applications, you can contact the embassy at telephone number 822-4011. After the break, more stories. Stay with us.
This is a message from the Belizean Youth for Road Safety in collaboration with the Belize Road Safety Initiative and BEL. When you reach that light, take heed, reduce speed. Hold up when you reach that light. Take heed, reduce speed. Hold up when you reach that light. Hold up when you reach that light. Wait till it change up when you reach that light. Hold up when you reach that light. Wait till it change up. Hey. Red means stop, green means go. When you see the yellow, then a time for go slow. Some people like rush, why them off act so. Your destination got nowhere to go. Look out, the people where they walk across the road. Look out, the people where they ride across the road. When you're walking, look out for the hand signs slow. The pedestrian signal will die. When you reach that light, take heed, reduce speed. Hold up when you reach that light. Take heed, reduce speed. Hold up when you reach that light. Hold up when you reach that light. Wait till it change up when you reach that light. Hold up when you reach that light. Wait till it change up.
The Belize Tourism Board, BTB, in collaboration with tourism industry stakeholders, have launched a $1 for the Caribbean Relief Fund campaign for the month of October to assist victims of Hurricane Irma and Maria, which severely devastated many of our Caribbean sister countries earlier in September. Many of these countries depend on tourism as their chief means of survival, and the devastation by both hurricanes has stalled their economies, which may take several months or perhaps years to recover. The BTB will donate $1 for every tourist arrival for the month of October, along with each stakeholder donating $1 for every guest to create a multiplier effect. The BTB initiative is being supported by participating agencies and tourism stakeholders such as the Belize Tourism Industry Association, the Belize Hotel Association, tour operators, water taxis, hoteliers, and local airlines, among many others. The Directorate General for Foreign Trade, DGFT, has been working with their partners in boosting trade in services in Belize. This week, we'll take a look at the efforts being made in developing the spa and wellness sector.
The spa and wellness service is a growing sector globally. The International Spa Association defines spas as places devoted to overall well-being through services that encourage the renewal of mind, body, and spirit. Spas have become more than just about pampering, but now include health-promoting procedures and treatment conducted in day and resort spas. In places like Belize, where visitors come for relaxation in luxurious resorts, spa and wellness services are significant income earners within the tourism industry, which the DGFT refers to as one of Belize's trade in service big tickets.
You have financial services, legal services, medical services, architectural, engineering, communication, and tourism. Those are 7 areas that are commercially are big tickets in globally. Those are the commercial sectors. So they play a large, meaning it plays a large role in global services.
Trade in services defined refers to the sale and delivery of a service between a producer and a consumer. According to the DGFT, trade in services accounts for 60% of the GDP in Belize.
It does play a large role in development and in our participation as a developing country in international trade. And for us to gain development, to achieve development gains. Studies have shown that over the years that developing economies have experienced growth in the share of exports. In 2005, we had 24% of our exports being services, while in 2015, we saw that increase to 34%.
The spa and wellness industry is still in its early stage in the Caribbean region, with most CARIFORUM countries offering a limited range of spa treatments, including hydrotherapy, facials, massages, sauna, manicure, pedicure, and waxing. In Belize, it's a growing service that is provided by approximately 200 resorts in the country. Maruba Resort Jungle Spa is one of those resorts, and the manager, Merrickston Nicholson, told us how their spa brand has contributed to the growth of their resort, which actually started as a spa.
The reason why it started as a spa is the owner, a doctor, and his wife, he's from Trinidad and Tobago. He was looking at health and wellness in a different way as opposed to traditional medicine. He was looking at a holistic view. And massage is the most ancient form of medical care that there is. The whole spa business, it's not just massage, there's many aspects of it. Doing like a manicure or pedicure, you have a spa manicure and pedicure, and then you have a salon manicure and pedicure. Difference is generally like when you're doing the salon one, it's going to be all about more your nails and cleaning them up and everything. But when you do a spa manicure or a pedicure, it's going to be rejuvenating the fingers, the hands, all the way up to the forearm, or all the way from the foot all the way up to the knee. and you will do different things. There'll be massage incorporated into it. There'll be a scrub portion of it where they exfoliate the skin.
So why do people enjoy this type of service?
And it's pampering, and it's, you know, that's the touch that you feel, and it's an art form as well. And so it's, you know, it's just like you lay down there and it's so relaxing and soothing, and 1 hour of massage is equivalent to 8 hours of rest, so afterwards you feel really good. I see that it definitely has been contributing to the economy here in Belize in many different ways. One is that it definitely is a good generator of income, and it's something that is in high demand. Like here at the resort, we probably have somewhere close to like 90% of our guests will partake in treatments that we offer. Also, on the other hand, is that it provides employment.
The Belize Coalition of Service Providers, BCSP, assists the Belize Spa and Wellness Association and by extension the industry in the development of their services.
We continue to render assistance to the Spa and Wellness Association by providing incubator services. We are classified as a secretariat, so we help them with all their administrative and planning needs. And we try to help build the industry and the sector, which has been identified in Belize as one of the priority areas or the priority sector.
In 2014, the BCSP secured funding from the Caribbean Development Bank to provide training for 5 local massage therapists to become internationally certified. Ely spoke to us about other developments in the sector and the Belize Spa and Wellness Association.
We had a consultant coming in late last year, 2016, to hold a symposium or a workshop with different industry stakeholders. One of the key areas that the consultant covered while she was here in 2016 was product development, and they did quality assurance, testing. We even brought in Belize Bureau of Standards and the intellectual property people, BELIPO, to come and talk to these stakeholders. We had about 20 or 23 participants who attended that workshop.
A spa is not just about massages, but about experiences. As a spin-off from that product development workshop, the BCSP collaborated with its partners in August 2017 and held a Maya Spa Experience brand competition to certify massage therapists in offering authentic Maya Spa experiences as a Belizean signature brand in resorts locally and internationally. The spa and wellness sector is a priority for the Caribbean region and in Belize. The Belize spa and wellness industry and the industry stakeholders, along with the Belize Bureau of Standards, Belize Tourism Board, and the Ministry of Health, are working towards elevating the sector to meet regional and international standards. For Belize Now, I'm Miriam Longsworth.
After the break, our segment In Case You Missed It. Don't go anywhere.
The world is changing.
Welcome to Belize.
Nobody will ever stop my heart from loving. Showing
Bienvenidos a Belize.
Let's keep growing. Don't let the struggles get you down.
Recibe lumutibu balis.
We are golden. We
Tohokre kulunik adin setenamit Belize.
gotta get stronger. We can get
Welcome to Belize.
negativity no longer.
Welcome to Belize. For the first time in the Western Hemisphere, the World Youth Conference is coming, and it's all happening in Belize. The Department of Youth Services under the Ministry of Education, Youth, Sports and Culture alongside the government of Belize will be hosting WYC 17 under the theme Globally Running to 2030, Becoming Sustainably Strong from November 6th through the 9th, 2017 at the Ramada Hotel in Belize City. This conference convenes young leaders from around the world as we see how we can tackle the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. See you in Belize.
Join us in Belize for the World Youth Conference 2017.
We gotta keep moving, gotta get stronger. We can't give in to the negativity no longer.
On Tuesday, October 3rd, the Ministry of Health announced that effective November 1st, 2017, all pharmaceutical facilities will be required to have a Ministry of Health certificate of registration license in order to provide pharmacy services to the public. According to the ministry, while its records reflect that a total of 23 pharmaceutical importers and wholesalers and 37 retail pharmacies are in possession of a valid Ministry of Health facility license, the ministry is aware of approximately 50 wholesalers and 120 retail pharmacies countrywide. These licensed facilities have met the necessary requirements and standards outlined by the Ministry of Health, taking into consideration the statutory instrument of the Food and Drugs Regulation 2017. All pharmaceutical facilities that have not applied for a facility license are therefore invited to do so. The ministry also announced that the moratorium on new pharmaceutical companies and new pharmaceutical products will be lifted effective November 1st, 2017. Additional information on the statutory instrument number 54 of 2017 of the Food and Drug Regulations 2017 is available on the Ministry of Health website at www.health.gov.bz. Belize's cacao and chocolate industry was highlighted at the inaugural Belgian edition of the International Day of Cacao and Chocolate in Brussels, Belgium on 1st October 2017. The Embassy of Belize in Brussels and the Belize Trade and Investment Development Service, Beltrade, joined forces to represent Belize at the event in the center of Brussels, long acknowledged as the chocolate capital of the world. In addition to a successful booth showcasing a variety of Belize's cacao and chocolate products, a special presentation on the trade and investment potential of Belize's cacao industry was made by the Ambassador of Belize to Belgium, His Excellency Dylan Vernon, and Belize Invest Manager of Investment Generation at Beltrade, Mr. Hiro Balani. The purpose of the day was to bring together cacao growers and chocolatiers to share ideas and experiences on how these key actors can work closer together in the cacao value chain. Along with Belize, 6 other countries, mostly from Central America, showcased booths. And that's it for this edition of Belize Now. If you want to provide feedback or send in your comments, please feel free to email us at info@pressoffice.gov.bz or visit our Facebook page and let us know what you think. We look forward to hearing from you. Have a great week. Until next time.